Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing something a little different. Teaming up with my good friend Taylah, and we are going to be raising awareness of cystic fibrosis. So basically this interview is going to be a little bit different compared to usual interviews. Instead of her being here, she's actually recording it on her device and sending it back to me so I can fill in the blanks. Just simply because we couldn't find time to meet up in our busy schedules. So that's the only thing really different about this interview. But the reasoning for wanting to do a cystic fibrosis awareness video with Taylah is simply because she can explain it a lot better than I can, simply because she has cystic fibrosis. But yeah, so I'm going to just jump straight into it. But first off, I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hi guys, my name's Taylah. I'm 22 years old and I have cystic fibrosis. I would say I live with cystic fibrosis, except I believe it lives with me, as it is a small portion of my life compared to what else I have. But I am a good friend of Stacey's and blessed enough to be Jaxon's godmother as well. We have decided to team up and do a video today to raise awareness for CF. Basically just answer the basic questions people may have about this illness, and basically, yeah, just talk about it, explain what it is. A lot of people are too afraid to ask, and I don't know why. I think people don't want to offend people like us. Like, they don't want to make us sad or sensitive, and we want to talk about it. Like, we want to tell you how it is. Like, we want to educate you so you are more aware of what it is. And, you know, when someone goes, oh, I have CF, you know what it is. You don't go, oh, is that bad asthma? No, it's not.
Okay, the first question I have is, what is cystic fibrosis?
A condition that primarily affects the lungs, pancreas, and also digestive system and all that sort of stuff. It makes us have a thick mucus, which can build up and block our airways in our lungs. Unfortunately, like, that does eventually block the airways, you know, causing like collapsed lungs. It primarily affects the lungs. That's what it is. It's known as a lung condition. So that's what CF is in the short. Like, obviously there's so much more to it, but we'll go through it in the questions to come. But people ask me, what is CF? It's a lung respiratory condition.
What age were you diagnosed with cystic fibrosis? With that question, how did you get diagnosed with cystic fibrosis?
I was 6 weeks old when I was diagnosed, and what it is, like how they do it is, when you're born, babies have the Guthrie test. The Guthrie test obviously tests for genetic conditions like Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, those sort of things. It also tests for CF. So the Guthrie test came back and it said, you know, I have CF. So then what they had to do, it's called like a salt test, like a sodium chloride test. But yeah, so they do that test to basically confirm it. So I had the Guthrie test, which said, you know, CF. I had the salt test, which confirmed it. So yeah, at 6 weeks old, I was diagnosed, and my mum and dad's world was rocked, because it was a whole new world and it was just a whole new thing they had to learn. Like, you know, I am the second born, so they had my brother, he's good, he's healthy, you know, good for him. And then they had me, and they're like, what is wrong? Basically, it was actually quite funny. So we generally have really salty skin, like all the time, all seasons around the year. We have salty skin. It's just, you know, another beautiful charm of CF. When I was little, my mum used to kiss me on the forehead, and she used to think I tasted so salty. So I guess you could kind of say that was a sign before the 6 weeks. You know, it's either I had CF or I was just a really tasty baby. But I had CF, but I'm pretty sure I was still tasty to kiss. Either way, I don't know.
How does cystic fibrosis affect the body?
There's so many ways. Basically, I will explain to you from like the top to the bottom, because it's literally like affects us from the like head to toes. Okay, first of all, brain. Believe it or not, having a life-threatening condition can affect us mentally. You could imagine. There are a lot of people that have psychiatrists, and as part of the CF team at hospitals, like, you know, you have a team of physio, dietitian, your doctor, like everything, and it's really great that they have a psychiatrist part of it, because there's a lot of people that obviously, like, they feel sad that they wake up every day like facing the mortality of their life. There is no denying, like, I've had my times, and you know, we all have our days. There are days that are harder than others, and yeah, so mentally it affects us. Lungs. So we are really prone to lung infections. Like, what might be a cold for someone can turn into so many chest infections for us, can lead to hospital admissions, antibiotics. Like, our immune system is not great and we get sick very easily. Everyone that knows me, you know, I'm very clean. Like, I clean way too much. Would you believe I used to work in childcare? Like, craziest job like I could have picked for germs, but it's what I wanted to do. We get mucus build-ups, like I said before, and yeah, like eventually most people with CF do end up needing a lung transplant. So it's quite sad, because obviously as our lung function goes down, you know, they eventually just... I'm not at that stage yet. The average age really to get a lung transplant is your mid-20s, and I'm 22, so I think I'm pretty, I don't know if I'm pretty lucky or if I'm just going good. It can take a turn very quickly, so for right now, touch wood. Liver. There are people with CF that have problems with the liver. I am also, yet again, touch wood, lucky enough not to yet. I do love a good drink, and I think the fact that our pancreas doesn't work great, I can drink more than what you would expect. So it affects our livers. It also affects our skin. Really salty skin. Like, in summer, like, I can literally like brush it off me, and I think it's cool. Like, you know, you ever need a lemon and lime with a bit of salt, just lick the lemon and lick my skin. Like, it's just, yeah. Our hands, a lot of people, due to their oxygen levels dropping, get really clubbed fingers. They've always said I've had clubbed fingers. I personally just think I've got my dad's hands. Like, for anyone that knows what clubbing looks like, I wouldn't say my fingers are clubbed. They're fat. I've definitely got man hands, but I don't think they're clubbed. Digestive system. Our pancreas doesn't work. So basically, I could smash a family box and not gain a kilo from that. Because our pancreas doesn't work, our body can't absorb the fat properly. A lot of people with CF have a bit of problem with their weight. Also maintaining and holding like weight on the body, which is, you know, crucial. Like, if we get a chest infection, it's nothing for us to drop a couple kilos like that, because, you know, our body is working so hard to fight off this chest infection. It's just burning away the fat that we have. Yeah, it affects our digestive system in that way. A lot of people, yet again, in their late 20s get CF related diabetes. I have had that. I was on a crap load of prednisone, and I got CF related diabetes. As I came off that medicine, my sugar levels like kind of calmed down, and that's all back under control now. It can affect our reproductive system, more so in men. I'm not a dude, I can't definitely confirm this, but I'm actually pretty sure men with CF can't reproduce at all. I hope one day that I am able to have a kid healthily. It's definitely something that you got to think about. Like, do you want to risk the chance of bringing someone into this world that has CF? You know, there are days that I wouldn't wish this upon my worst enemy, but then there are days that I think, like, wow, like, my mum's raised me to fight this like an absolute champion. Like, I could raise my kid like that. But that's a bridge I'm going to cross to when it comes to it. I truly believe everything happens for a reason, so I guess we'll just see. And lastly, it affects our bones. We are known for having really weak bones. Funny enough, I've never broken a bone. Insane. I'm not too active sport-wise, so probably need to do something to break a bone. But yeah, it affects our bones. Women have really weak bones, so I'm on a crap load of vitamins, not just for that, but for everything. We are actually really known to get arthritis as well, but yet again, touch wood, I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, so they are kind of the main elements that CF affects. Obviously, you know, everything can go into more, and like people suffer differently to different extremes. I know a friend that has pancreatitis a lot. He can't touch a drink even if he wanted to.
What treatment do you need for cystic fibrosis?
Endless amount of tablets, nebulized medications like antibiotics. I think in the morning for my morning vitamins, I think at the moment it's sitting about 20 or 25 odd tablets, and then you have tablets on top. So you have one tablet for every 8 grams of fat you eat. And as I was saying earlier, that's to help our body absorb the fat. We've got crap loads of tablets in our day. We have endless amount of nebulized medications, whether it's antibiotics or just daily things to help our system clear. Treatment can mean in admissions with PICC lines in. It's endless amount of clinics. So I go to clinics, you know, being admitted, I've had PICC lines, I've had, yeah. But as for the daily treatment, it's physio, nebulized medicines, and a lot of tablets. Personally, you could imagine like all the medicines I'm on and how harsh that can be like on my body, like just, yeah. So on the side, I do salt therapy, which is a natural form, like it can't hurt you. I personally go to that 4 times a week, and I feel like it just helps me like breathe easier, helps me sleep better. And it makes me feel better overall, and then I come home and do the harsh treatments. But it's a nice thing to do, and I definitely recommend salt therapy to anyone with a breathing condition, CF or not, like 100% hands down would recommend. But yeah, that's the daily treatments.
Is all cystic fibrosis the same for everyone?
It depends on your mutation. It's kind of like cancer. You have cancer, but you have lots of different sorts of cancer. It's kind of like that. There are heaps of different genetic mutations of CF. Basically, when you have CF, you have 2 genes. The most common one is delta 508 times 2. That is, when they do research, that is the one they research for because it's the most common, so they want to help the majority. Unfortunately, I have one gene that's delta 508, and then my other gene, incredibly rare. Like when we did further testing to find it out, when they told me, I believe they said registered. Like there's obviously, you know, a lot of people don't know the exact genes, but when we did find out, I think they told me there was only 38 other people, all of Australia, that had the same genetic mutation. When they test for mutations, they test for like the top 10 or whatever. Obviously I didn't cross those top 10, we went further. But yeah, so my mutation's not too common, but you know, everyone's different. How the body handles the CF, and it also depends on the person's, like what their routine's like. There are people I know that don't do the physio because they only do the physio when they get sick. Whereas personally, what the doctors have told my parents and what my parents have raised me as, I do my treatments in the morning and night, just like I'd brush my teeth. Like if some nights I don't do it because, you know, to be honest, if I drink too much or if I'm just so tired, sometimes I'm so tired, I just can't. I feel so bad. I wake up the next day feeling crappy in the chest, but not like just feeling like, why did I do that to myself? So yeah, everyone's different, but same, if that makes sense.
What is the age expectancy for cystic fibrosis?
Current life expectancy is sitting at 37, which I know, like a lot of people go, wow, like that's not much. I think it's good. When I was born, my parents first said, look, she's not going to make it past 5. Obviously I did. Would you believe they still sent me to school, like even though like the chances weren't high, but apparently mum just knew. Yeah, so when I was born, the life expectancy was 5, which you could imagine would be heartbreaking for my family. I was too young and in love with Barbies to be sad about it. But yeah, as I've grown older, every birthday that goes by, I celebrate to the max. Like I feel absolutely blessed that I'm 22. I hope I live, I'm sure I will live to 37, even beyond that. There are people that like are past the age expectancy. I definitely do know when I turn 37, it is going to be the biggest party of my life. Everyone in the world is going to be invited. But yeah, obviously as research moves along, hopefully there will be a cure eventually, so that age expectancy is at, if not older, but no longer.
Can people with cystic fibrosis go near other cystic fibrosis people, like siblings or friends, etc.?
Definitely not. So when I said earlier that we get sick very easily, there are a lot of people that carry different bugs and viruses in their sputum. When I was born, I was obviously born with all this. When I was little, someone, I don't know whether we walked past one another, but someone basically gave me Pseudomonas that you can't shake. There are certain bugs that we just cannot shake. So when I was little, we obviously crossed each other's paths and I got this. They used to put us all in the one waiting room and we'd sit next to each other. And it used to blow my mind because they say, oh, you're not allowed near them, but take a ticket, go sit near them. Like these days though, it's really come far. So now basically you go to hospital, you go to this little reception window, you check in, you go wait wherever in the hospital and they text you. It's like your pizza's ready. They text you, please come to clinic, blah, blah, blah. Whenever we go to hospital, we have to wear a hospital mask. So we don't get others sick and they don't get us sick. There are obviously siblings that have CF. That is a whole different story. You have been raised the same, so obviously you're exposed to the same thing already. Some of my greatest friends have CF and it's hard because like we will never be able to just hang out and, you know, just be like normal friends, like have coffee or go whatever. But you could imagine the relationships we can form with other people with CF because it's a lot to understand if you don't have it. So when you meet someone with CF and they have that understanding already, you talk about, oh, I just had this medicine, have you had it? Like it's a whole different sort of friendship. But yeah, so we're not meant to go near each other. I do know a lot of people that do. They go, oh, the friendship's more than that. Personally, I bust my balls to keep at my healthiest, and not even that. I would feel terrible if I got one of my friends like with CF sicker than what they already are. I would feel terrible. Like that's just something I don't want to ever put anyone in the risk of, I guess you could say. So yeah, we're not meant to go near each other. There are people that do, but personally I try to stay clear of them just due to cross-contamination, I guess.
What are the chances of getting cystic fibrosis?
So, for you to have CF, both your mum and dad need to carry a CF gene. The chances of actually, like I said before, there are endless amount of genes that there are some people that don't even know that they're carrying it, but they are. So the chances of carrying a gene for CF is 1 in 8. Now, there's 2 1 in 8s get together, your mum and your dad, and they get together, they do their little love making, then the chances are 1 in 4. Now, here's a funny fact. It is more common in boys and it's more common for siblings to have it as a family. Now, I am 1 of 4. I have 3 brothers. I am the only one in my family, like my whole family, I'm talking grandparents, nieces, nephews, go all the way back. I am the only one in my family so far with CF. So I can't relate to anyone else in my family. But yeah, so your chances are 1 in 8 to carry a gene. You get together, your chances are 1 in 4. I beat the odds times 3. So mum should have really gone out and bought a lottery ticket that day, but yeah. So that's your chances. Now, for example, I clearly am a carrier of CF. So if I was to get with someone, and like I said, there are only so many genes that they can actually test for, like the top 10 basic ones. For example, my mum, they did a test and they said, oh, you're not a carrier. Clearly she was. So that really rare uncommon gene that I was telling you about, that's from my mum's side. So, but if I got with someone, I had a baby, whatever, and like a lot of people can get tested before to determine if they want to have a baby. Personally, like I said, you know, that is not going to stop me. If I have a baby and they have CF, I'm going to care and love for it. Like, I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't test and, you know, go, oh, you're a carrier, but I bought this baby. Like, I'm not even going to get into that. But I don't think it is a condition to the point that you can't raise a baby with.
So with cystic fibrosis, I've heard the saying 65 roses. Where did that come from?
Sounds similar, doesn't it? So where did that name come from? So there's so many different origins and stories, and you know, a lot of people probably think different, but the story I've always known is that this little boy, he had a mum that would care for people with CF. This is, I think it actually dates back to 1960s or 65, would be cool if it was, but it dates back to around then. And this little boy, his mum used to work and care for people with CF, and basically he misheard cystic fibrosis as 65 fibrosis. So then he's kind of gone, oh, the 65 fibrosis, and for some reason, like, that name stuck. I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful to think that someone sees such beauty in such an ugly thing, I guess. You know, it's a nice symbol, I guess, and a lot of people, it is easier to say 65 roses than cystic fibrosis. So it's nice to say. I remember when my little brother heard I had 65 roses, he's like, why do you have so many? Like, it's the main idea that a little boy misheard it the wrong way and said it was 65 roses instead, and the name's just stuck since. So yeah, I think that's where the names come from.
Is there a cure for cystic fibrosis?
No. So like I said, our age expectancy is very numbered. I hope one day that there will be a cure and CF will stand for cure found. Right now there's not, which is okay. I know they're always working towards it, hence why when I was born I was meant to live to 5, but now I was 37. I hope one day there is a cure, but it is a terminal condition.
How can we as a community support and improve further study for cystic fibrosis? And the last question is there anything you would like to add about cystic fibrosis?
So I think just getting the awareness out there is really what we all aim for, to make more people more educated about it as well. A lot of the time people go, oh, is it just bad asthma? No, mate, it's not. I wish it was just bad asthma. My doctors do reckon I have asthma, but really, like, I've already got one diagnosis. Like, do I really need that? So yeah, there's a lot of things to it, and I really hope this video does raise awareness and educates people. I'm sorry if it doesn't make sense. I've never done something like this before, but like I said, we are always open to talk about it, educate people, because I want to be able to go somewhere one day and say I have CF and they know what it is. I don't have to explain it and give them the rundown. Like, I would love for people to be more aware of it. Yeah, that's I think that's basically it. Yeah, just be more aware, raise awareness when you can, and yeah, keep in mind that, you know, there are people out there that have really severe conditions that don't look like it. Like, CF is a disability. It's not a visible disability, but it is certainly a disability. There are times that, you know, my lungs and chest hurt so much and I can't breathe. You can't see by looking at me, but there are days that I'm struggling. There are days that I sleep more than I'm awake. There are days that we struggle, and I wish people were more aware of it so they could be more mindful of what we feel on the inside. We might not look it, but I wish people were more mindful that we go through a lot more than what we see. So I think that is my general message to anyone watching this, and to tell their friends that always keep in mind that people are going through stuff even if you can't see it.
That is it, guys. I know this video was a little bit different to what I usually do. I really just wanted to find a way to support and raise awareness for cystic fibrosis. I've known Taylah for 6 or 7 years now, and she is literally the strongest woman that I have ever met. The amount of stuff that she has gone through, and I've been there to support her through it all, it blows my mind. So yeah, I really just wanted to do something special for Taylah, and I feel this was the best way possible that I could physically do something. So yeah, if you would like to see a part 2 of this video, or you would just love to see Taylah in my future video, or even if you just have any questions about cystic fibrosis, leave them in the comments box below. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really supports my channel, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.